everyone, it's Nat here. So yesterday I showed how I was stamping some of my Christmas stamps to make embellishments, and today I'd like to show you a few different methods I've used to colour in my stamps. Now, I don't profess to be an artist whatsoever. This is like my first time at trying these different techniques and stuff, so yeah, I pulled out the water brush for the first time. That was interesting. So firstly, I'd like to show that I used my StazOn ink for all the stamping I did yesterday. And now I have the camera zoomed in so you can see what I'm colouring. But as you can see, some of the bigger stamps didn't stamp very well. Now, I always think that it's the stamp that has the problem when I do that. But I decided to grab out a different ink, and I used this one. That came in a really cheap set from Spotlight that has your cyan, your yellow, I think it's blue and then black. So I used the black from that, and it's a lot wetter and spongier. And I'd just like to show you the outcome with those big stamps with that ink. Much, much better. The only problem is I'm not sure if this ink will run if I hit it with watercolour and that, so I might experiment with that afterwards and see. So I sat down last night and I did colour in a few things, and I'll show you. So that was, I can show you the stamp uncoloured, is that wreath with the buttons. Now for that one, this one's just done on copy paper, and I used, if I can find them, I said yesterday that they were Montmartre, but they're not. They're Micador stylish brush markers. They were quite expensive, but they're definitely worth paying for. So what I might do is just cut this one out, and I will just colour in a button or something and show you what they're like. Just because I assume there are people out there like me that haven't tried this before and have no idea about all these different pens, pencils, paints and all that. So I'm sort of learning as I go. And so I don't have much of a range, but there were two different blues, so I thought I'd grab those out and use them, because I tried to do a darker colour around the outside of the buttons and then the lighter colour on the inside. Sorry, there we go. Sort of, camera's deciding whether it wants to focus or not. So I will probably colour outside the lines here, because I need to have my nose almost touching the paper to be able to colour inside the lines. So with these brush markers that I bought, they have like a pen nib. See if that's going to focus. Probably not. You can see it well enough there. And then they have like a paintbrush nib as well. And I just found the brush nib so good, because if you hold it upright and really lightly just use the tip, then you can do real fine details. And then if you turn it on its side a bit, you can use it a bit more like a paintbrush. So make sure I've got you in shot. So yeah, basically used just the fineness of it to go around the inside, and it's best just to work in little areas at a time. But these give really good coverage. And then I went around the little bits where the thread would go through. And I found that they didn't, I think they are water-based, but they didn't seem to like run together too much, which was good. Not like my watercolour pencils. Had a bit more trouble with those. So then I went in with the lighter one. But yeah, these work really nicely, and the coverage is pretty even, because I'm not very good at this sort of thing, so like that. So that gives you an idea how I did that. And I think that looks really good. They're really nice and colourful, these pens. And then the next one I did was, I'll try and find an uncoloured version, was, there we go, that bell, I love it. It's come out really good. Sorry about the blurriness. I think because I've got zoomed in the camera, it's having a lot more trouble trying to focus. And I used my gel pens to colour in this. Now, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but the pack of gel pens I've got has got metallics and glitter pens. And I don't have many options with the colours, so I think it's metallic for the two different golds on the bells and for the green, and then it's like glitter for the red and the yellow, which is really nice. It looks really nice for a Christmas journal. So I will just put that one there and show you my gel pens. I got these from Spotlight also, and again, a little expensive. They're not too bad, but this was a really cool pack, this one. It has the Christmas edition ones. And on this side, they've got the metallic, so it's only the, well, there's 6 colours there because there's lighter and darker silver and gold and green. And then on the other side, it's got the glitter pens, which is just the red, green and yellow. Be awesome to have a massive pack with heaps of colours of these because I really love using them. I've bought gel pens before and they basically work just like normal pens, and I've have wondered why people colour in with them and that, but these are really good. They do come out sort of a bit like paint and that. So yeah, it's I don't know if you can see the nibs, but one's a bit lighter and brighter, one's a bit darker. So what I did was use the darker one to do the area in here. But see, these colour really well too, and they're just so bright. And again, it's best just to work in your smaller segments. And then I'll do the darker here. Yeah, they're beautiful to use. And they do have different types of these gel pens. I've got some pastel ones as well, which are really nice. It's nice and relaxing. I haven't coloured in for ages, so probably sit down at nights and bit by bit colour in all my stamps that I stamped. And then I use the lighter one just to get a bit of variation. And again, these don't seem to bleed too much into each other, which is good. It's interesting trying to do this with my face so far away. It's a bit splotchy, but you get the idea. So yeah, they're heaps of fun to use, those ones. And I'll show you again. That's how that ended up. Move these out of the way. And then the final one I did is, I got out the water pen and the watercolours, and I did a couple of these bells on the vintage paper, and I love the way that's turned out too. It wasn't very darkly, didn't stamp very dark, so you can't see the lines too well, but that doesn't matter. Colour in, it looks quite nice. I did this one first, but I didn't let the coats of colour dry in between the next, and you can see just there that it has bled the red into the yellow a bit. I'll still use it though, it still looks pretty nice. So with this one I made sure I let the, I did the yellow and then let it dry, and then did the red and let it dry, and then the green, so I didn't have to worry about the bleeding in. So I like the way that's turned out. So, oh, that's what I wanted to try too. So I've got this one. What I might do is cut out this Santa Claus, because I just, even though it's not the sort of paper you'd probably want to watercolour on because it's a bit sort of glossy and probably won't soak in very well like it does on the old papers, but I just want to see if the ink of the stamp runs, because then I know whether I can use this on the vintage pages and use my watercolours effectively. So my daughter had given me this pack of watercolour paints, but you can use just cheapies and that. I have watercolour pencils, which I really want to try out with my water brush as well, but this was easy to grab, so I thought I'd give it a go. She's made a bit of a mess of it, but I will clean it up. Now, I think you're meant to actually wet the paint and then put the paint into the little trays, but I'm getting used to this water brush and it seems to let out a bit too much water, so we'll see how I go. So I'll just put that to the side. I should show you what I'm doing, shouldn't I? Maybe I'll zoom out just a little bit. There. And then you can see a bit more. So yeah, I got some of these. I think my daughter got them for me from Lincraft. And so you just unscrew and fill them up with water. And then they've got your nice little nylon painting nib. So a bit like the pens that I showed you. Really nice fine tip. And as you use it, water sort of runs down and keeps the brush wet. And so you can use that to wet your paints, as well as mix them and that, and add more water if you want to water them down a bit. And you can just also clean it and then use it with the next colour really easily, which I have been doing on some paper towel, because I just found that stopped the brush from getting overly wet. I do want to just fix up one of the leaves on there that isn't as bright too, so I might do that first and see how I go. Good luck to me. And if anyone's got any tips on how I can stop so much water coming out, because I'm not sure if you hold it a certain way so it doesn't like ooze out as much. But yes, so I did use this green. So I don't know if you can see, but it's wetting it a little bit. And I've got a bit of green on the tip now. So I'll just push that around, make that a bit darker. That's much better. And then to clean it, all you do is wipe it on your towel or whatever. And if you need a bit more water, you just squeeze it to get a few drips of water out to help clean it. And yeah, wipe it on your paper or your paper towel to make sure that it's all clean of that colour, and then you're ready for your next colour. So they're really cool to use. Let's put that to the side. All right, let's give this a go. Let's try some red on his coat, I reckon. So I've got some red there. It's quite nice and bright. That I usually have to have my face practically on it, so I'm getting it in the lines and I'm doing pretty well. Doesn't seem to be running too much, the ink, so I reckon that pigment ink's going to be alright for me to use for my watercolour, which is excellent because, as I said, it's just stamping a lot better. Might grab some green and do one of the ones. Try not to get it to bleed. Maybe we'll do some green up here, or on his hat would be good. But yeah, the water brush is definitely a worthwhile investment. So easy. And they're also good to use with your napkins, to tear your napkins too. Watercolours aren't going too bad, and I'm actually doing better with the amount of water this time too. I don't know whether it's because I was doing such little areas, but they were just getting so wet I had to keep blotting them with paper towel to get the excess water off. So I mean that's working quite good, that is. So I'll do a bit of the Christmas tree. So yes, I've been having heaps of fun. Takes me back to my childhood, although I used to get frustrated and not like everything I did, so nowadays I don't care as much, which is good. So I can have a bit more fun with it. And just clean it off like that. So far they are the techniques that I have used, but I did want to try, which I might do. I've got yours with me, painting with the distress inks. Now I wanted to do that on, oh here we go, probably some of my, some of this now. Was it that bell? I think I was going to give that bell a go and just see how I went. This is like tea-dyed paper. I'm not sure how this will go with the watercolour stuff either. So now I also bought over, it's like just some plastic bag wrapper stuff, which is good to use. You know, you can dab your inks onto them and then add a bit of water and create your little paint. So I might just try with my walnut stain, and I'll get my water brush again. Now I'm new at this as well. I think I've used my inks once before, but not with the water brush, so we'll see how we go. But if you dab them on, you get a bit of the colour out, and then you can drip a bit of water on with your brush. So if you squeeze it, make sure you can see a bit. See, it drips a bit of water. I don't want too much wetness. And now if you move that around, you create yourself some paint with your ink. So I don't know if it's going to be dark enough, but let's have a look. Oh, that's not too bad. I think I put a bit too much water on, but it doesn't matter because I want a watered down look for this one. What I can do is add a bit of ink. Just there. And then just move some of this water into that ink and make a bit more darker colour. It's a bit watery, but that's alright. That's just another technique you can use. I might blot this just a little because I did get a bit too much water on there. When I do that, it takes some of the colour away, but I can, when it dries, I can go over it again. I don't mind that actually. Let's just get some of this colour here. Clean that off. Now, I think I'll use green for the leaves because they won't touch the brown, because of course they'd bleed into each other. So now I won't put drips in this one. I'll just use the water that's on the brush and see how it goes. Yeah, that's nice. So I got, you know, a good haul of different colours of inks the other day, so I think they're going to be great to do this sort of thing with. Got a bit more of a range now. It's quite relaxing doing this. There's my fridge talking to us again. Clean the brush off. If you give it a good squeeze, a few good drips come out to give it an extra clean. So yes, I'd let that dry before I did the ribbon or anything, or else it's just going to bleed into the other colours. That's how your inks turn out. That looks quite good too, I reckon. So they're the 4 different ways so far that I have been trying to do my stamps. Now, we don't want to waste this ink that's on here either, so I know I should have bought an envelope over, because I know people like rub envelopes and that in there to get some of the colour. So I might just get a piece of paper or something that I can use for a tag background or something. What have I got here that I can use? I've got some book page actually, that'll do. Just to soak it up, and then if I do that in the future when I use it, I can get a nicely coloured book page, so I can sort of do that and get the colour on there. It's the first time doing this too, so but it saves wasting it. We all know how expensive this stuff is, so yeah, just get some colour. I'll just mix that one in a bit. It's just slightly colouring up the page there, so when I do some more painting with my inks, I'll do the same and get even more colour on there. Then I can stamp over the top or just use it as a background on a tag or something. Put that to the side. I'll put that over there, and then I can use my paper towel just to wipe this off. And I can use this packaging each time that I want to do it. So I hope that's given some of you who are like me and haven't tried any of this stuff before some ideas on the different bits that you can buy, different art techniques and that you can use to colour your stamps in. So, and I'm thinking I might do something with that on the doily, but I might do some glitter or something around it first, so we'll see. So that's my idea with that one, to make an embellishment. Either that or you can just put a hole in there and a bit of ribbon and there's a tag, but I quite like it on the doily, so I might do something like that. This one I'm not sure, I might cut it out, fussy cut it a bit more and then stick it onto something, journaling card or something, pocket. Now, I did have one more, didn't I? Yeah, these. Losing everything, my table's full of Christmas stuff. This one I'm thinking of doing a little tag with. I love it, it's nice and little. What I might do is back it with some tea-dyed paper that can be written on. And then I probably will put a hole in it and put some nice ribbon. So I'll definitely show when I've made the little embellishments with it so you can see what I've done. And then I should keep painting away at Father Christmas and get him finished. Just that I was surprised that the watercolours work quite well on this cardstock. So yes, hope you're having a good idea. Make sure you get some good idea. Doing well. Make sure you're having a good day and getting some craft done. I will practice my speech. So and yeah, see you really soon with some more embellishments. Bye.